In the complexity of life, where each moment brings choices and opportunities, there is a wisdom that has been shared through generations. This wisdom, rooted in ancient Stoic philosophy and echoed by existentialists, teaches us to embrace our fate and find peace amid chaos. It encourages us to align with the universe, finding harmony in our experiences, and to see our journey not as a burden, but as a precious gift. Stoic thinkers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca saw it as a way to find peace. For them, the art of life wasn't being able to change what happens to us, but how we react to it. Deeply rooted in their beliefs, this idea was a symbol of power and resilience, showing how the human spirit can stand strong even when things go wrong. But what does it really mean to love your fate? Is it a complete acceptance of everything life throws at us, or a more in-depth understanding of how each event shapes who we are? We look into the rich weave of history to see how this idea has shown up in different ways over time. In old Greek plays, the hero's journey was to accept their fate. It was a theme in Eastern spiritual books that talked about going with the flow of life. It came back in the modern existentialist movement, which asks people to find meaning in the nonsense of life. The famous philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche's intense works brought this idea back into people's minds. He thought this old idea was a strong way to fight the emptiness and hopelessness of our time. For Nietzsche, to love one's fate was to accept life in all its forms, including happiness and sadness, success and failure, and life and death. It was a complete acceptance that turned every moment into a way to show your will, a dance with fate. This theory, on the other hand, goes beyond simple ideas. In the very real and palpable world of psychology and human growth, IT finds its place. There is a chance to put this theory into practice in the difficulties we face, the losses we suffer, and the wins we celebrate. The core of this idea comes to life when we accept what we can't change and have the guts to change what we can. In terms of current psychology, it fits with the ideas of positive reworking, resilience, and acceptance. It fits with cognitive behavioral therapy's ideas about how to get through life's problems by changing the way you think. As we start this trip, we will see parts of history, philosophy, psychology, and how these ideas can be used in real life. This old knowledge can help us on our way to personal growth and improvement, which we will find out. The lives of people who have lived by this concept will be told, and we will learn a lot from them. These stories aren't just about the past, they're also about our own battles and victories. We will also talk about how this theory can be used in real life. What does this mean for us in our everyday lives? In what ways can we train our minds to see the beauty in what fate has planned? This journey isn't about accepting life as it is. It's about taking part in it. This is about changing our point of view, seeing the good in every bad thing, discovering the power in being open and honest, and understanding the wisdom in giving up. We want you to think about your own relationship with fate as we go through this exploration. What do you do when life takes a turn you didn't expect? Do you fight back or accept? The solutions to these questions are not just random thoughts. They are the keys to a happier and stronger life. The difficulties and complaints of this theory will also be discussed during this investigation. How can someone find a balance between wanting to be accepted and wanting to succeed? How can someone accept fate without becoming a fatalist? These are important questions that should be thought about carefully, and we will try to give you different points of view on them. Before we watch the movie, let's remember that this trip isn't just about getting a spiritual idea. Finding a way to change yourself is what I'm all about. It's about learning to move to the beat of life, to find melody in disharmony, and to turn the chaos of chance into the music of coincidence. I believe that accepting our fate as a blank surface that needs our brushstrokes rather than as a plot that has already been written is the key to success. This way of thinking has its roots in Stoicism, a school of thought that began in the Hellenistic era. Stoic thinkers, who believed in virtue, knowledge, and emotional strength, paved the way for what people now call a deep love for one's fate. They thought that we should live in balance with the universe's natural order and accept that we can't change some things. They taught that we can control how we respond to things that happen to us, even if we can't control the things themselves. Stoicism had an impact on many people's thinking over many years, helping them understand how to deal with the ups and downs of life. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, was a Stoic philosopher. He wrote exercises that have helped many people find peace and strength. His words showed that he honestly believed that things would happen as they would, and that the only real power we have is over how we react. Moving forward in time, Friedrich Nietzsche became a strong supporter of the idea. This was a very new and different way of looking at things in the 1800s. This old thought was seen by Nietzsche, who was known for questioning the accepted rules of his time, as a powerful way to support life. Nietzsche believed that life should be loved, not just accepted. He thought that there should be joy and meaning in every moment, every struggle, every victory, and every loss. From his point of view, life wasn't something to passively accept. It was something to actively deal with. He called people to enjoy all parts of life with excitement and vigor. In Nietzsche's opinion, accepting one's fate was a sign of strength and freedom for the individual. It was a refusal of being a victim and a praise of having power. He told people to not only accept their fate, but to love it, because it was an important part of their trip and a big part of how they would grow and become more like themselves. From this point of view, the idea became a living, active theory. This theory may be more relevant than ever in modern life, I think. In a time of constant change and uncertainty, being able to deal with the unexpected is a useful skill. People often want to be in charge of every part of their lives because the modern world is so complicated and hard. But this need to be in charge can cause a lot of stress and worry when faced with the fact that life isn't always predictable. Today, this Stoic advice gives us a different way to think about our fixation on power. It argues that there is strength in acceptance, power in flexibility, and knowledge in accepting the limits of our control. The concept of liking one's fate provides a source of security and fortitude in a world that often seems wild and uncertain. It helps people think in a way that sees problems as chances, strengths in weaknesses, and growth in every situation. In the fields of cognitive behavioral treatment and awareness, this theory also ties in with modern psychology techniques. There is a lot of focus on accepting things as they are and changing how you see things. These practices, like the Stoic beliefs, say that we should think about how we react to things instead of the things themselves. They agree with the idea that we can change how we react to things, not what happens to us. This theory also gives us a different view in a society that often values independence and personal success. It says that personal growth and satisfaction can also be found in how we manage the inevitable, how we dance with the beats of fate. Not a call to be idle, but an offer to take part in life in a deeper, more important way. As we learn more about this long history of philosophy, we start to see how these lessons have stood the test of time. They give us lessons that are just as useful now as they were in the past. They give us advice and wisdom on how to deal with the difficulties of modern life. As we learn more about fate and destiny, it's important to understand what they mean from both an intellectual and a psychological point of view. Philosophically, fate has been seen as an unchangeable set of events that can't be changed by people. I believe that fate is a cosmic story written by divine or natural forces. This idea is old and can be found in many cultures and belief systems. People often think of destiny as the end result of their life, which is a combination of their choices, actions, and natural traits. People often think of fate as fixed and unchanging, but destiny can also be seen as more flexible, changing based on what a person does within the limits of fate. From a psychology viewpoint, these ideas take on a slightly different color. Today, psychologists don't see fate and destiny as outside forces that can't be changed. Instead, they see them as how people think and feel about the future. This point of view says that fate is not a set of rules that everyone must follow. Instead, fate is a set of beliefs that affects how people see and act in the world. From this point of view, fate is something we make up based on our values, goals, and deeds. It is important to know the difference between fatalism and accepting fate in order to understand the theory we just talked about. Someone who believes in fate often feels hopeless and gives up, thinking that they can't change the way things are going. This point of view can make people passive and less interested in making decisions, since they think that results will happen no matter what they do. In the context of our conversation, accepting fate is very different. It is not about resigning oneself to an unchangeable future, but about accepting the uncontrolled parts of life while practicing personal agency. This kind of accepting is a choice, a state of mind that includes realizing that life is unpredictable and making a promise to fully experience it. How someone feels about fate has a deep and far-reaching effect on their life. A view that accepts the things we can't change about life can help us feel more at peace and strong. People are freed from the stress of trying to control every part of their lives when they realize that some things are out of their hands. They instead concentrate on what they can control, which is how they react to the things that happen in their lives. In conclusion, accepting one's fate with love is not the same thing as being passive. It's about accepting that life is unsure while still taking part in it. It is a way of thinking that promotes resilience, flexibility, and an upbeat attitude. As our research goes on, we will look more closely at how this philosophy can be used in our everyday lives and talk about the problems and issues it may face. They can put their attention and energy into things where they can actually make a change. This change in focus can help you grow as a person, feel better emotionally, and find more happiness in your life. On the other hand, refusing to accept things you can't change can lead to long-term stress, anger, and a sense of helplessness. Many psychology methods agree with this point of view. The goal of cognitive behavioral therapy, for instance, is to help people understand what they can control and how to focus on that. This method fits with the Stoic philosophy, which says that we should have the peace to accept things we can't change, the strength to change things we can, and the knowledge to know the difference. This way of thinking can show up in different ways. It can mean being okay with a quick change in your life, like a job loss or a work change, and finding ways to adapt and grow from these events. It can also mean realizing how little control we have over relationships or societal problems, and choosing to focus on how we respond and what we can do instead of trying to change what will happen. Also, accepting what can't be changed doesn't mean being passive. It means being involved in life and making decisions and acting despite what can't be changed. This kind of active participation gives people power and a way to take back control in a world that often seems uncertain and disorganized. When we think about these ideas, it's clear that how we feel about fate and destiny isn't just an intellectual or psychology idea. It's also a way of living, a way to improve our emotional and mental health, and a way to find personal satisfaction. By learning and accepting these ideas, we can deal with the unknowns of life with more strength and purpose. There is a lot to think about when we think about the difference and interaction between faith and fate, as well as how we feel about them. They push us to think about what we believe, reevaluate our values, and change how we go about living our lives. There are many good things about accepting fate, which is an idea that has deep roots in both philosophy and psychology. Among these, acceptance, resilience, and lowering stress are some of the most important ones that have a big effect on a person's mental and emotional health. The Stoic thinkers, who were known for focusing on inner strength and resolve, thought that accepting fate was the best way to get through life's hard times with grace and strength. To be resilient, you can't ignore or avoid problems. Instead, you have to face them head-on with an attitude that wants to learn and grow. According to the Stoic school of thought, difficulties are chances to put good qualities like bravery, patience, and knowledge into practice. From this point of view, problems become stepping stones, which builds resolve in a way that is both powerful and freeing. In modern psychology, resilience means being able to get back on your feet after something bad happens. It's about being able to handle pain, sorrow, danger, or major sources of stress well. When we accept our fate, we change the way we think so that we can see past the pain or discomfort of a situation and see the chance for personal growth. This change in point of view is very important for building resilience. It helps people get through the ups and downs of life with hope and a sense of purpose, instead of feeling like they are victims of their situations. Stress reduction. When we learn to accept our fate, we can feel a lot less stress, which is often caused by our rejection to what is. Modern psychology approaches, such as cognitive behavioral treatment and mindfulness, stress acceptance, and living in the present moment. This idea fits with these ideas. Spending time and energy fighting things we can't change makes us stressed out for no reason. When we accept and embrace these parts of life, we lessen the internal tension that causes physical and mental harm. This doesn't mean giving up and letting whatever happens happen. Instead, it means figuring out what we can control and what we can't, and deciding to accept what we can't change instead of fighting it. When we accept something as it is, we let go of the need to control it, which makes us less stressed and anxious. It helps us focus on the things we can change, which makes our actions more effective and efficient. Many intellectual and psychological schools of thought believe that acceptance is the key to mental peace. The idea of accepting what you can't change is closely related to the idea of embracing fate. It means facing the truth about a situation instead of ignoring or fighting it. Accepting things as they are is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength and smarts. It lets us see things as they really are, without our fears, wants, or biases getting in the way. Acceptance is a big part of treatments like acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT, which teaches people to accept their responses and be present with what life brings, while also making a promise to do things that are in line with their values. I work in psychology. Fighting truth only makes things worse, so this way of thinking helps lessen suffering. When we accept our fate, we let ourselves live our lives to the fullest without always fighting truth. It is clear that the intellectual and psychological sides of accepting fate work hand in hand. From a philosophical point of view, it offers a way to live a more worthwhile and satisfying life, where problems are seen as normal and necessary for growth. In terms of psychology, it fits with habits that have been shown to improve emotional health and well-being. Accepting fate teaches us how to find balance. It's about getting smart enough to know when to do something and when to let go. Finding this balance is important for getting through life's challenges. It helps you build a life that is strong, free of stress, and full of learning and new adventures. As we apply these psychological and intellectual ideas to our daily lives, we start to notice changes. We become stronger, less worried, and more open to how life goes. There's more to this change than just growing as a person. It's about living a life that is truly connected to the world around us, one that accepts all of its shades and nuances with grace and openness. After talking about the benefits of accepting fate, it's time to talk about how it can be used in real life. Mindfulness is the art of living in the present moment. It is a practice that has roots in old cultures and is supported by modern science. It is a strong way to accept your fate. It means focusing on the present moment without judging it or fighting it. This practice helps you become more aware of something that is deeply linked to the idea of amor fati, which is to accept and enjoy life as it happens. Simple techniques like mindful breathing can help you bring mindfulness into your daily life. When you do mindful breathing, you focus on your breath and notice each inhale and exhale. By being fully present and immersed in the experience, this can be used for other things too, like eating, walking, or even talking to someone. Over time, practicing mindfulness makes you feel more connected to the present moment, which lowers your stress and makes it easier to enjoy life's events. Another important part of learning amor fati is doing practices that help you think more deeply and clearly. It means not holding grudges or regrets against the past, but rather looking back with an open mind, wanting to understand and learn. As a way to process your thoughts and feelings and to look for the lessons hidden in life's events, keeping a journal is a great way to think. People can get a better sense of how life's trials and successes help them grow by reflecting on them on a regular basis. Meditation, deep thought-provoking conversations with other people, and other contemplative activities can all be part of reflection. By getting more in touch with your thoughts and feelings through these routines, you become more self-aware and better able to accept your path. When it comes to welcoming challenges and finding meaning in hardship, life's problems are often the places where the true meaning of accepting fate is tested and improved. A central idea in this theory is to find value in hard times. It means changing your view of problems from ones that seem like hurdles to ones that seem like chances to learn and grow. Some questions that can help you make this change are, what can I learn from this situation? Or, how can this challenge help me grow? These kinds of questions can help you find value in even the worst situations. They tell you to deal with life's problems by being proactive instead of reactive, which fits with the idea of taking charge of your own fate. Making rituals and routines, setting up daily rituals and routines, can help you live by the principles of amor fati. These can be simple things like being thankful at the start of the day or thinking about what happened during the day at the end. Rituals like these are great ways to stay committed to living life to the fullest and can help you develop a mindset that is in line with amor fati. Positive reframing is a method that is often used in cognitive behavioral therapy to help people become more resilient. It is also very useful for practicing amor fati. It means changing how you think about things to see the good things or the chances for good things to happen. This doesn't mean ignoring the bad things that happen, but picking out the good things that can come from a situation. By seeing things in a more positive light, you can become more resilient and better able to deal with the difficulties you face in life. Being compassionate with yourself is an important part of accepting your fate. It means being kind and understanding to yourself, especially when things go wrong or when you're having a hard time. Knowing that pain and flaws are normal parts of being human is part of practicing self-compassion. Allowing kindness for oneself can help people accept their life path and all of its strengths and flaws. Learning and growing all the time. Finally, practicing amor fati is a process of learning and growing all the time. I believe in having an open mind and being willing to learn from new situations and points of view. This can mean doing things like reading, trying out new hobbies, visiting, or going to school. To fully embrace your fate, you need to keep learning and growing because they give you new ways to see and experience life. By using these useful tips and tricks, we can see how the idea of accepting your fate can be woven into our everyday lives. These habits not only improve your health, but they also help you live a fuller, more worthwhile life. Now I want us to talk about the deep lessons that great thinkers have taught us about accepting fate and how those lessons can help us grow as people today. Friedrich Nietzsche, accepting life as it is. Friedrich Nietzsche had one of the most interesting ideas about life and fate in modern thought. My formula for greatness in a human being is that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity, he said. This quote shows a complete acceptance of life as it is. This view is more than just accepting things as they are. It's a strong love for all of life's parts, including the pain, battle, and happiness. Using Nietzsche's ideas in modern situations means making a strong statement about life's experiences. Finding worth in every moment and seeing obstacles as necessary for growth and development are what I mean by this. In terms of personal growth, this way of thinking tells people to deal with life's unknowns with interest and acceptance instead of fear and resistance. It teaches us that changing our situations won't make us truly great or happy. What will make us truly great and happy is changing how we feel about them. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic acceptance of fate. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, had an idea that combines being good and accepting fate. Accept the things that fate binds you and love the people that fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart, he said. This is a great way to find peace and happiness in life's circumstances. In today's busy world, Aurelius's words tell us how important it is to accept the things we can't change and find happiness in the people and things we have. This quiet acceptance doesn't mean being passive. Instead, it means being involved with life and focusing on making the most of the relationships and chances that fate gives you to grow. Aurelius's thought shows us how important it is to be present, be thankful, and try to be good in our daily lives. Epictetus, wanting life as it happens. Epictetus, who was another important Stoic philosopher, said that wanting things as they happen is the key to happiness. Don't try to make things happen the way you want them to. Instead, want them to happen the way they do, and your life will go well. This deep insight suggests that the key to a happy life is to match our wants with reality instead of fighting what life throws at us. In modern times, Epictetus's ideas show how important it is to be flexible and accepting in order to grow as a person. It helps people stop trying to control their lives and start adjusting to them. This way of doing things makes people stronger, lowers their stress, and helps them get along better with others. People can find peace and meaning in their lives, even when things are chaotic and unclear, if they just want to live their lives as they happen. These great thinkers' ideas offer timeless wisdom that is surprisingly relevant to the problems we face today. In a time when things are always changing and there is a lot of unpredictability, their lessons show us how to live with grace, strength, and purpose. To use what they taught us, we have to change the way we think about things and see life's surprises not as problems, but as chances to learn more about ourselves and grow. It takes an attitude that prioritizes personal virtue over outward success, learning over comfort, and growth over ease. In real life, this can mean facing challenges with curiosity and openness instead of fear or resistance, practicing gratitude and presence in daily life, especially in relationships and small joys, being able to adapt, making sure our actions and wants are in line with what our circumstances are, looking for growth and learning in every experience, and using life's lessons as stepping stones for personal development. Using these intellectual ideas in everyday life will not only make you stronger and less stressed, but it will also lead to a trip that is deeply satisfying and has value. By following these thinkers' advice, we can get through life's difficulties with peace, focus, and a sense of purpose. As we come to the end of this study, let us go over the most important ideas and lessons we learned while trying to understand and live by the theory of accepting fate. We started this investigation by looking into the idea's historical and philosophical roots, following its lineage from old Stoic philosophy to Nietzsche's deep thoughts. It was revealed that this theory is based on a deep love and understanding of life in all its forms, including its ups and downs. Then we talked about what fate and destiny are and how they differ from an intellectual and a psychological point of view. We learned that fate, which we often think of as a set path, is not just a script written by outside forces, but also a story that is shaped by how we think and act. Next, destiny was seen as a journey that our choices and actions shape, a road where the strings of fate weave together. The conversation moved on to talk about the mental and spiritual benefits of accepting fate, with a focus on being resilient, lowering stress, and being open to it. We learned that the best way to become more resilient is not to avoid problems, but to face them with a growth attitude. Let go of trying to control things that you can't change and focus on changing the things you can. This will help you feel less stressed. We also talked about how acceptance can help you deal with the facts of life, not as a sign of loss, but as a sign of strength and knowledge. After that, our journey became more useful by giving ideas for how to use these ideas in everyday life. We talked about practices like mindfulness, reflection, and finding meaning in problems, with a focus on how these can change how we deal with the unknowns in life. We talked about making traditions and routines, the power of positive thinking, the significance of self-compassion, the worth of community support, and the never-ending goal of learning and growth. These techniques weren't just seen as ways to deal with problems, they were also seen as ways to live a happier, more powerful life. We also learned from the writings of great philosophers. For example, Nietzsche's strong belief in life, Marcus Aurelius's calm acceptance of fate, and Epictetus's advice to match our goals with what we are experiencing taught us a lot. These logical points of view weren't just ideas for school, they were also useful guides for getting through the complicated modern world. As we come to a close, it is important to think about how we relate to fate personally. What do we do when life takes a turn we didn't expect? Do we fight back or accept? How can we use what we've learned from this experience on our own paths? The answers to these questions are not just lessons in thinking, they are the keys to a happier, more resilient, and more worthwhile life. It is clear what we need to do. We need to start our own path of accepting our fate. Life has ups and downs, but this journey isn't just about accepting them. It's about embracing them and finding joy and growth in each one. It means changing how we think about the problems we face in life so that we see them as chances to grow as people. Moving forward, I want you to follow these rules in your daily life. Be aware, do thoughtful practices, find value in difficulties, and always be looking for ways to grow as a person. Thank fate for the people and chances that come your way. Be present and grateful in your experiences. Change your negative thoughts into positive ones. Be kind to yourself. Ask for help from your community. And never stop learning. No matter where we end up, this path of accepting our fate is a constant process of growth, learning, and change. IT is a way to live a life that is not only strong and stress-free, but also full of learning and adventures. Remember that the idea of accepting fate is not just something you should understand, it's also something you should do. It's a call to accept life as it is, to find order in the chaos, and to turn the noise of chance into the music of coincidence. It means seeing our journey not as a plot that has already been written, but as a blank surface that needs our unique brushstrokes. Here are some lessons, tips, and spiritual thoughts that you should use in your daily life. Let them show you the way and help you handle the challenges of life with grace, strength, and purpose. Love your journey with all your heart, because that's where we find true happiness and purpose. I hope that your journey is full of learning, growing, and fully accepting everything that life has to give.